Okay, cool. So the topic of my talk is a listing optimization all around European marketplaces. And as Anna has already mentioned, we have a lot of new marketplaces, and this is something which is really, great that happened last year after so many years without having any other European marketplaces being popped up on Amazon's map. I was really happy to see, that basically 3 marketplaces were out during 1 year. I already presented myself. As I said, we're wealthy translations, and we offer international marketplace localization, keyword research, basically everything you need to get covered content-wise and keyword-wise on a new marketplace. And we've built a team of 60 team members in less than 2 years. And I'm really excited about what 2021 has in store for us as well. So I just wanted to cover a little bit of what happened in 2020 and why we were seeing such an increase of international marketplaces. I know Anna talked about this, so I'm not gonna talk the same as she did. But I just wanted to say that, there was like an increase of over 40% of people who want to go to international marketplaces, and more people are expanding to new channels and new marketplaces in new countries. And the whole point in 2020 was that you needed to adapt in order to overcome the whole shock that happened in the world in March and April. A lot of people were very, scared. They didn't want to pursue their Amazon, careers and products and everything. But actually, the ones who could pivot, which I think it's like the word of 2020, they were able to manage, and they were, they could quickly, very easily pivot their marketing and message and their energy and everything to the clients, which I think was very important. In 2020, Amazon Netherlands finally enrolled PPC, and Amazon Sweden was introduced. So I'll talk about this a little bit later. And also, we've seen an increase in e-commerces around Europe. So Spain and Italy had an increase in 14% and 30.5% for Spain, which is amazing, because earlier when people would usually expand to Europe, it would usually be like UK and Germany, and then maybe if you don't have the right product for, let's say, France or Spain, you will go there as well. But not a lot of people wanted to do the whole pan-EU 4 or 5 countries expansion before COVID. But now, the whole e-commerce has grown for 14%, which means that a lot of people have changed their habits, and a lot of people in Spain and Italy have started shopping more and more online, which is why when now we have clients, they want to definitely expand to Spain and Italy. When we compare this to, let's say, last year, 2 years ago, we have seen such an exponential growth in interest of sellers to sell in these 2 countries. So in 2021, what I think is very important, what people probably don't know or don't pay much attention to, a lot of sellers have their own websites, and you really want to make the website responsive, because Google is going to make big changes in May. And if you don't get your website to responsive according to the criteria of Google, you're not going to be indexed at Google at all. So this is something serious which is happening, and they haven't done this a couple of years now, but they're making big changes. So make sure that you are in sync with the Google algorithm. I know, for instance, my website is not, because their criteria is crazy high, but we're working on it. So pay attention to that. If you have a website, you should definitely check what are the changes that are going to be made in May. Also, of course, the environmentally friendly products are going to be more and more important. And there was this, I think there was this Vox Populi, in China, that said that 67% of people would likely purchase the products that are eco-friendly and from an eco-friendly company than others. I know that in Sweden that they're banning the use of plastic straws and plastic packaging. So I think that also the whole Europe is also going to be more eco-friendly. So also pay attention to that when selling products in the packaging. And I would definitely, in 2021, be listing on more marketplaces and selling to new regions. And what's very interesting is video ads. When it comes to translations and language, because video ads are very highly converting ads, and they are very clickable. They take a lot of surface and people want to click on them, but they will not be shown if you don't translate them to the language of the target market. So let's say if you leave the subtitles or text on it in English, it would not be shown in Germany. So pay attention to that. And I like to say to diversify and do not put all eggs in one basket. So when we're talking about European marketplaces, of course, as Anna already mentioned, Germany is, I like to call it a 5-star marketplace. It's the biggest marketplace in Europe. And what's really cool about it is that all other countries that don't have their own Amazon marketplace, all the consumers get redirected and you have to buy from German Amazon, which was also, for instance, where Swedish consumers were buying from until they got Amazon Sweden. So Germany is like a 5-star marketplace. And then we have UK, which is now, after Brexit, like a lot of things have changed. Also, one of the very important things that I have to mention are the regulations that were already there, but they were not pursued by Amazon that much. And that is the regulations when it comes to packaging. Now you have to translate the packaging to every country that you want to sell your products in. So you cannot ship the product that's going to have like English packaging in Germany. Earlier, I was also stressing this because I think it's very important for the packaging to be translated, let's say, in German, because not all Germans speak German. And especially if you're selling beauty products or some products that have important ingredients, you really want your consumers to understand what they're buying, because people will not buy what they don't understand. France has been where it was. I know that last year they had some ban where they didn't want, they did ban like Amazon sending products to consumers in order to protect the small brick and mortars, but like that ban has been raised. So France has been like where it was like till this day. Nothing new happened there. Spain and Italy have been like on the rise, and that was really great to see as people were also expanding to those marketplaces now more than ever. And the Netherlands has been introduced at the beginning of 2020, but the PPC hasn't enrolled until late 2020 in December. And then a lot of sellers were very, very unhappy with the results. They didn't get a lot of sales. They didn't get the results they wanted. And a lot of them just decided not to expand to the Netherlands. But then as soon as the Netherlands PPC, like the Dutch PPC was enrolled, people started getting results. And now Amazon.nl is the biggest marketplace. It surpassed Bol, which was the biggest marketplace in the Netherlands. So I think that this year people might see better results, but I know that a lot of sellers just gave up on Amazon Netherlands and not investing in much in that specific marketplace. So what's very interesting is Amazon Sweden, which has been introduced also at the end of 2020. Unfortunately, it was introduced completely wrong. So what Amazon did is they basically Google translated the whole Amazon.sc website, and they even put an Argentinian flag instead of Swedish flag. So they did everything wrong. But I think that if Amazon can offer really quick delivery times, it could be a really, really successful marketplace. We've seen a lot of interest in that. We get regularly, requests from clients, our returning clients, old clients that were not present at this marketplace to translate their products into localize them and do them as well. Sweden has this special e-commerce culture because of Nelly, because of H&M, because of a lot of other marketplaces that are already present over there. And really good really good categories are definitely beauty and health care products, kids products, also as Anna mentioned, garden products, of course, like something that has to do with furnishings as well, because it's all connected to IKEA, so people are aware of the buying online. And we are yet to see what's going to happen on Amazon Sweden. As I said, we've had tons of requests, but nothing close to Amazon Poland. So right now, I would say the hottest marketplace in Europe is Amazon Poland, and it has grown so much. And we've had sellers that have thousands of products, really big brands, translate the whole catalogs into Polish. And I think that this is going to be very, very big hit. There are 12,000 online stores in Poland, and Allegro is a worldwide known marketplace. It's in top 10 worldwide marketplaces in the world, right after Shopee and Tmall. So Poland has already been in e-commerce, culture, and the e-commerce penetration is quite high in that country. And of course, I'm sure that a lot of you know about Zalando. For those of you who don't know it, that's the biggest marketplace basically in Germany after Amazon. And Zalando also and other retailers have expanded to Poland and Sweden last year. So basically, Amazon is kind of running late after all of these bigger marketplaces and retailers decided to do so. But they also definitely see very, very big in Poland and Sweden. Unfortunately, when it comes to keyword research, there are no tools for Sweden and Poland at this point, but I really hope that this is going to change in the next couple of months. So what you could actually just do is basically do a lot of manual research, like searching for the competitors, what they're doing, and doing the keyword planner. Unfortunately, that's all you can do right now. So what's next is probably Czech Republic. I'm pretty sure that you know that if you registered for a pan-European program a couple of years ago, you would have to register for VAT in Czech Republic and Poland. So this is basically the only marketplace that's left to be launched, and Czech Republic has had the biggest growth in e-commerce last year. It was 16% and it surpassed absolutely all other European marketplaces. So this is something that you should look out for. It should be potentially very, very interesting in Europe as well. Talking about localization, why this is important, I like to give an example with Walmart and what happened to Walmart in Japan, which we can totally apply to products and localization listings and everything. So Walmart basically is this US giant, and they just wanted to come to Japan, just thought because they are a big American retail giant that they're gonna expand without any problems. And they could not offer anything that Japanese consumers would love to have, such as locally produced food and fresh ingredients. And they basically also like to go on a scavenger hunt for discounts, and they want to have like this shopping experience, to say so. Walmart could not offer anything. They didn't adjust to the marketplace at all, and basically they didn't do anything to win over Japanese audience, and that's why they had to pack their bags and go. Only a year after they opened tons of stores across Japan. But what happened with Costco is something completely different. So Costco is also like this US giant, and what's very interesting for them is like you have to go there and you have to buy in bulk, and you have like tons of discounts, and there's like this like shopping culture of like people who go to Costco and buy like 15 bottles of champagne because you have to buy it in bulk. And this is something that was very interesting for Japanese people who have never seen this before, never experienced anything like it. So even though this is like a typical, let's say like a US thing, Japanese people really loved it because it gave them a really cool shopping experience for them. And Costco has been popular in Japan and is still to this day. So what does this have to do with your listing? Anna also mentioned like US versus Germany. I also like to compare two marketplaces and two styles because they're the most different ones. US style is a little bit salesy, fluffy, they push you into buying your product. Whereas German style is more like straightforward, show me the benefits of your product, don't push me into buying product. And I don't know if you knew this, but the German marketplace of all worldwide marketplaces gives out the most refunds. So if the consumer thought he bought one thing and he got another, they're gonna return it, it'll have to refund it. This is something that we did for Payoneer service provider. So this was supposed to be exhibited in Germany at this conference. So the original text said, passion, we go beyond care. We have to change this to we go beyond customer service, because care and customer service did not connect well together in Germany. You would connect like care, like a physical care, like in hospital. And it's really more like playing on emotion than like sounding professional. Also the second example, humility, we go beyond assumptions. We have to change that to respect. We live up to what we promised our customers, like humility and humble service. Nobody wants to see this in Germany, and it doesn't sound professional. It doesn't sound that they could actually help you. When it comes to listings, this is my favorite example we did a couple of years ago. This was an espresso cup, where in the first bullet, you can see it says cool, cooler, coolest. So it's like this wordplay, a little bit using metaphors, and German's first bullet says elegant and stylish. So just showing the benefits, like being very clear, very straightforward with product, showing how it solves the problems. Also, third bullet, own the enigma. Just like that old ship in a bottle your granny had, these mini glasses are sure to prove a talking point. And then German bullet says, thermal isolated glass. So no mention of your granny in your childhood, but like it won't burn your fingers because it's thermal isolated glass. Also, some of the words to avoid and to localize while doing this for the Germans is get it now. Don't push people into buying products. Don't go over the edge of like being super cute, pamper yourself. Like it's fine if you're selling kids products, but you really have to pay attention that you like don't reach over the limit. So you really have to be super careful when using words like these. Conveying the right message is definitely the most important thing, and this is what we all strive to do. And sometimes it's really difficult to convey the right message when you use like one brand to deliver it for another marketplace, and that's why you should not ever use Google Translate. Google Translate and other machine translations like DeepL are not humans, and they don't understand the message that your brand is supposed to send. So for instance, like if we have an example to the left, it says pasta like in Bella Italia with Carlo's pasta attachments. If you're going to sell this product in Italy, you cannot write Bella Italia. Like Italians, when tell them like Bella Italia, they're like, I don't know what this means, right? So we changed that to fresh pasta come quella della nonna, like as your grandma makes it, which means that this is like Bella Italia, which means that this is fresh pasta, like a homemade pasta, and Italians will understand what sort of message you want to convey. There are also like a lot of things that you cannot translate as it is. Like the English word like hourglass translates as silhouette de rêve, like in French, because an hourglass figure, it can be translated like that, but it doesn't convey the same message. Also, bringing new life to your trading, it wasn't translated like that because it would not have the same effect as varier vos entraînements, which means like to change your trainings, like give a different variation of your training, for instance. And also I love this example. This is something we give to our translators when we test them. And this is the sentence says you don't need green fingers. Green fingers means that you can grow agriculture and like grow plants, and you're very successful with that. And in German, when you translate with green fingers, grüne Finger, it doesn't have any meaning. But when translated to grüne Daumen, which means green thumbs, it has the same meaning as you have in English with green fingers. So that's super important. When talking about keywords, Google Translate is definitely not your option, because with Google Translate, you can just get the meaning of the word, and that might not be true. That might be true, but when you type some of the keywords that you get translated on Google Translate in Amazon, you probably are not going to get the same product you're looking for. And even if you hire a native translator from Fiverr, I know a lot of you do that, those translators would not know anything about Amazon. They don't know why they're doing this. They don't know if they're creating a sales copy or what they're doing. So if you decide to hire somebody from Fiverr, you have to just tell them that whatever keyword they translate, they should put it in Amazon and see what products pops up, because in a lot of cases, the correct product will not pop up, and you'll be using that valuable time from your honeymoon periods to rank yourself for completely wrong keywords in your PPC campaigns. Also, very interesting thing, what we've noticed is that in French and Spanish, you have this de, like an article, which means of, and with, and other things like that. And basically with the prepositions, a lot of you wouldn't use that because you would find that the keyword result doesn't have this de in the list, like a spatula cucina. But when you compare the results and you put a spatula de cucina and a spatula cucina, you're going to have absolutely the same results. So these words, and this will mean a lot, because this means that you would be able to use the keyword grammatically correct. And if you would not use it with this de, you would have to go to the back end because it's not grammatically correctly written. So if you're using the French language, these things which you can put between the keywords and not change their meaning and the search volume are de, a, and pour. And Spanish is de et pour. We've done this over like 3,000 listings, like every month we test this, and this is what we got as a result. Also very interesting for the German language, whenever you use a tool, for instance, it's going to have a word count as number 2, because usually long tail keyword consists of like 2 or more keywords, right? But for Dutch and for German language, like all the Germanic languages and now Swedish, this is not going to be applicable, because these languages have like these big chunky keywords that are put into one compound word. So basically you can express a sentence in like a single word in German. But when you use any keyword research tools, the word count here is going to be set default by 2. And if we take an example of this Pinsel set, which is like, 2 words, like two, let's say give the two different separate words in long tail keyword list. This is what you're gonna get. But then if you go back and put word count as 1, you're gonna get tons of these compound words, which you're not gonna get in the previous research you made when the word count was set as 2 as default. And these are 31,000 search volumes. So when you compare it here to this list, you'll be missing out on top couple of keywords that be in top 10 keywords that your competitors might be ranked for, and you haven't used this opportunity. So whatever you're doing, just check for the German, Swedish, and Dutch keywords that you have word count as 1. This also works for like keyword planner or any other keyword tools like that. And I have a short bonus, and this is that, do you know that it's possible to change languages on your main images? Because a lot of people ask me about that, and that's why people don't translate it, because it all comes from the same database, and then when you put it all up, it's going to be English no matter what, or German on all other marketplaces. But here's a hack on how can you change the language. It costs some money, but the point is that you can make it you can make it work. You have to so this is like an example of a same listing. It's in French and it's in German, and it's different language on their main images. So how do you do this? You have to apply for the 360 program. And this is basically how you do it. So 360 marketing program of Amazon, and then your account manager will be able to change this for you in Seller Central. This costs money and it is expensive, but this is how your listing is going to stand out from all other listings. So 360 program on Amazon, look it up today. And that's it. Thank you so much for listening. And if you would like to connect, my email is jana@qualitystranslation.com. I'm open to any like consultations, calls, whatever. And if you guys want an audit of your listing that is maybe underperforming, or you're wondering what else you could do to make it better, feel free to reach out and we'll be happy to send you our free audit. So thank you so much for listening.